Hello and welcome to another episode of Driveway Dudes.
Today we're going to do a back-to-back comparison test on two types of cheap wheel cleaner.
Now, the first wheel cleaner is called W5. It's available from Lidl across Europe and it costs about €1.50.
And the second type of wheel cleaner we're going to use is Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner, which I also believe is available across Europe. This one cost me €1.75 for the same size 750ml bottle as the W5 wheel cleaner. The main differences are that this is non-acidic and non-solvent based. It's more of a detergent based wheel cleaner as opposed to the W5 wheel cleaner ball.
Now this one is, as Will says, it's acidic and solvent, and supposedly it's supposed to do a superior job.
Now, in order to compare this, to give it a fair test, we're going to get an old alloy wheel rim from Paul's BMW. It is a 15-year-old wheel, and we're going to do the barrel of the wheel. The reason for the barrel of the wheel is it would be less commonly cleaned by your, home cleaners or home detailers or any kind of professional detailers. Sometimes wouldn't touch the barrel of the wheel. So we're going to mask off half of the wheel so we can do a back-to-back comparison.
And we'll see how it goes. Will is going to do all the work.
Yay. Okay, so as we mentioned in the intro, I'm going to test two different cheap wheel cleaners. One of these is the W5 Car Care alloy and wheel rim cleaner that you can pick up in Lidl, and you can probably pick it up in other stores across the world. The reason why I'm using this one for this half of the wheel is because it's an acidic wheel cleaner, whereas the Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner, which is also quite cheap as well, is non-acidic, more like a detergent-based wheel cleaner. So as you can see here, I've masked off one of the sides of the wheel with festive tape, so you can just ignore that festive tape, but it's pretty sticky. And I'm going to spray this as per the instructions onto the dry half of the rim. You can probably see I've put some tissue here as well on the edges, try to stop the experiment being compromised by getting this wheel cleaner on this half of the wheel. Now I don't mind so much if I get a bit of water on the inside here, because according to the instructions on this, you actually want to wet down the wheel first, whereas this you want to spray it on dry. So this is why we're going to use this one first. Okay, so just want to mention why we're using this particular wheel. Okay, it's irrelevant to make of the wheel, but it is from a 2002 car, so it's about 15 years old, and we're going to attack the barrel of the wheel where a lot of brake dust and road tar would have been building up over that 15 years. So this would be the most type of extreme test we can do. The front of the wheel would be more commonly cleaned, so it would be easier to clean the front of the wheel than the barrel of this wheel. So by cleaning the barrel, we're putting out two wheel cleaners to a proper extreme test. Okay, so I've spun the wheel around to show you the extent of the brake dust buildup, and just bearing in mind brake dust is corrosive, so it would have had 15 years in theory to eat into the wheel. So it may not turn out perfect, but it's really going to challenge this wheel cleaner. And as per the instructions, I'm going to spray it onto the barrel of the wheel while the wheel is still dry and leave it for 2 minutes to set in. So just before I start spraying, I just want to point out on this particular wheel there actually is some tar buildup as well. Now this is once again going to really challenge the wheel cleaner. So we get our bottle of wheel cleaner, we turn it on, and we just start spraying. And wheel cleaner is safe for tires, so don't worry about getting it on your tires either. Okay, so just want to mention this actually smells fantastic. It's probably irrelevant, but it does smell good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my phone, and we're going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and we're going to return to this. Okay, so it's had its 2 minutes to set in and eat into that brake dust and tar, and as per the instructions we're going to agitate it using a brush or sponge. In this case I'm going to use this stiff bristle brush, and we're just going to rub it in, okay? Okay, so this is well agitated, as you can see. Now, I probably didn't get all of the bits that you can see because I'm only doing half the wheel, so I'm trying to kind of avoid hitting the plastic too much and compromising the test. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hose it down, but you can already see it's a much bigger improvement. Okay, so I've just picked up the hose and I'm going to very lightly wash it off before it totally dries in. Well, you can see some difference already. And you can see all that tar that's built up over the time. You can see bits where I may have left it too long and it's slightly dried in, so I'm going to agitate it again and then just spray it down again. Okay, so I'm just going to agitate it a second time with the remaining residue that's left on this brush because I just missed some bits. Okay, so that's just roughly agitated again quite quickly. I don't think it's doing any job at lifting the old tar and the old sticky bits from the wheel welts, but we're just going to spray it down again now. Okay, and once again I'm just going to try and avoid the bag while I spray this down. The change and the improvement is huge, as you can see. I didn't do an absolutely perfect job because I was trying to stay away from the plastic bag as much as I could, but you can already see how much better it is. So I'm going to remove the tape, so we're going to see like a before and after of it before tackling the job with the next wheel cleaner. So I'm just going to remove this, probably badly and slowly, and okay, so roughly there you can see the difference that the W5 wheel cleaner has made. It's drastically different. I'm going to leave the tape in place so it's like a border, like a stop for me to go with the Astonish Car Care. So I'll come up to this point with the Astonish Car Care and you'll be able to see the difference with the little W5 wheel cleaner. Okay, so just want to mention, so we don't forget, this side being the W5 cleaner has 3 wheel bolts on this side, and this side, which is going to be the Astonish Car Care non-acidic wheel cleaner, has 2 bolts and a tire size, just so we know as a reference which side has been done with which cleaner, so we don't forget. Now, I just want to mention with the Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner, this is non-acidic and solvent free, but I still recommend you wear gloves and eye protection when using it. Now, following the instructions, it does say to remove any loose dirt and debris with water before spraying the cleaner, so we're going to follow that. Naturally, I would spray the cleaner onto a dry wheel, like as recommended with the W5 wheel cleaner, but for this test, to show you how good it is, I'm going to follow the instructions to a T. So as per the instructions with the Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner, I'm just going to wet down the wheel now. So I'm satisfied that's properly soaked and that's wet. Okay, so the water has had a chance to soak into the wheel, and it looks like there is some sort of soapy residue remaining on this side of the wheel that I didn't notice before, maybe from a previous owner who attempted to clean it. So I just want to mention as well that I did rinse out my stiff bristle brush so as not to compromise the test. I rinsed out all the W5 cleaner that was remaining in this stiff bristle brush. So let's get our Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner and let's just spray it down liberally. Don't worry about using a lot, it is cheap wheel cleaner, but you know, you can always spray as much or as little as you want. For the test, I sprayed a lot of W5 wheel cleaner, so I'm going to spray a lot of this as well. That's it, so I'm just going to let this settle in for a minute. So I'm going to set a timer on my phone now. Okay, so the timer is set for a minute, and let's return to this in a minute. Okay, so the Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner has had its minute to dig into the brake dust and dirt. On first impressions, it hasn't dripped off any brake dust like the W5 cleaner had done. Maybe you may not have been able to see that from the angle, but I could see it when I looked at it first. But as per the instructions, if there is tough dirt and grime, to agitate with a sponge or a brush. If it's only light brake dust you have, you can just get away with spraying it straight off with water, according to the bottle. So I'm going to grab my stiff bristle brush and work it in now, and let's see what happens. Okay, so that's sufficiently agitated, I believe. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spray it down with the water, and let's see how it turned out. Okay, so I'm just going to hose down the Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner, and let's check out the result. Hopefully I didn't leave it too long and it's dried in. Well, so far so good. It's actually done a very comparable job. And just got a bit of overspray on the W5 side, but that can all be hosed down. Who knows what the front of the wheel looks like after all this, but that's not part of our test. And to be absolutely fair to the Astonish Car Care, because on the W5 Car Care side I went back and re-agitated it with the brush one more time before doing the final hose down, so I'm going to do the same for this side too. Okay, so with the remaining residue that's left on this stiff bristle brush, I'm just going to go over one more time like I did on the W5 side. I just want a fair test. But so far I am very, very impressed. Okay, so I believe that's sufficiently agitated. I'm just going to go run over it again with the hose. But yeah, so far so good. Both sides look absolutely excellent. And yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the tape. We're just going to do a close-up look around the wheel and compare both sides. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to remove the tape, and you're going to be able, I've already pre-cut it, and you're going to see that's where the old brake dust was, and on this side too. So you can see where the old brake dust had been building up, and you can actually see the huge difference that's been done with the wheel here. So yeah, we're gonna do a close-up shot of it now. Okay, so you can see here the Astonish Car Care side, and over here the W5 wheel cleaner side. So if you look closely behind the spokes, there is actually still some remaining brake dust staining, which you don't actually get as much of on the Astonish Car Care side. Now just a reminder, the Astonish Car Care is actually a non-acidic and non-solvent based, wheel cleaner, wheel detergent, whereas a W5 wheel cleaner is acidic based and solvent based. So as your own personal preference or your own personal kind of beliefs on whether or not you should use acids or solvents or something in your day-to-day life, I do believe reading online that non-solvent, non-acidic based wheel cleaners are actually for vegan friendly, so they're non-harmful to animals, and there's no animal testing, whereas I cannot, because I don't know enough about it, say the same about acidic wheel cleaners and solvent based wheel cleaners. I recommend that if you want to clean your wheels, either will do an absolutely fantastic job. It is your own personal preference which you would like to use, but in this instance, if I had to pick one, I would go with the Astonish Car Care wheel cleaner, as I believe it's actually done a more effective job at cleaning this particular wheel, this 15-year-old wheel with unknown mileage and unknown, road dirt and grime and brake dust that's built up over time. We haven't had the car since new, so we don't know what conditions it's been through, but it does do a fantastic job. Either wheel cleaner.
Yeah, as you can see, the wheel is worn out after all this agitating.
The wheel cleaner, I have to say, the Astonish wheel cleaner anyway, has actually done a fantastic job, and you can see on the back-to-back comparison when we removed the tape as well, that the Astonish Car Care, in my opinion, actually have removed more brake dust staining than the W5 Car Care product. What's your opinion, Paul?
Well, the W5 did a very good job, but I have to agree with you, Will. The Astonish was actually superior. It was a little bit more expensive, but on the plus side, it's environment friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. That it actually claims on the back it's not being tested on animals and being non-acidic and non-solvent based. If some got down your drain or you threw the old bottle with a bit left into it into your recycling bin. Otherwise, it may be less dangerous to the environment. Now, I'm not a scientist, so I can't confirm this, but being a detergent based and not solvent based, it's a pretty good guess.
And the W5, it is acidic and it does have solvents, so be careful with when you're using this. You do need to wear protective gloves, possibly eyewear in case of splashes.
Absolutely, and just a key thing to note as well, that neither wheel cleaner removed the road tar and the sticky deposits left over from the old wheel weights on the back of the wheel. Neither on the bottle claim to be able to do this. You may want to invest in a clay bar to rub off those extra bits of road tar, but for the price, €1.50, €1.49 and €1.75, they did an amazing job. I've seen wheel cleaners 6, 7, 8, 9, €10. Ones you can spray on and watch the brake dust drip off, ones that you spray on and rub in. But for the price, I don't think you can beat it on a 15-year-old wheel the way it turned out. It just turned out so well.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, and it was such a noticeable difference. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment if you wish, like, share, and subscribe below to Driveway Dudes.
And join us again for future episodes.
Thank you.